CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Norfolk OPP have launched a homicide investigation after a Simcoe senior was found dead in her home. Jerry Dewan has more now on the victim and the investigation.
West Region OPP have identified the victim as 71-year-old Barbara Morgan, who neighbors remember as kind and quiet.
Well, we're just neighbors and we're friends. We talk, but that was it.
Quinn Cook would see Morgan maintaining a small garden on the property of the Norfolk County Fairgrounds, steps from her home. She would fill it with plants from her own garden.
Every spring she'd go out and plant flowers and everything, try to spruce the place up.
The OPP arrived at the home on Head Street South around 10:30 Sunday morning after receiving a 911 call. Cook emerged from his home shortly after to see the heavy police presence.
And I saw the officers talking to one of the guys I've seen in that house before. He was sitting on the front step, and he looked upset.
Other neighbors identified the man as Morgan's son, who lives nearby. Members of the Norfolk OPP Forensics Unit were on scene Monday searching inside and outside for evidence. Neighbors say Morgan told them that she had become uncomfortable having a boarder in the house and was anxious to have him move out. Police have not made an arrest and have not identified a suspect, posting an update on social media.
Preliminary information suggests this is an isolated incident with no indication of a broader threat.
But they are asking for the public to be on alert.
While there is no known risk to the wider community at this time, members of the public are encouraged to stay alert and report any suspicious activity to police as a precaution.
A post-mortem was planned for Monday as part of the investigation. In Simcoe, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
One person was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after a car slammed into a house on Adelaide Street Sunday. Brent Lale reports.
There was a trail of carnage along Adelaide Street as an SUV took out a hydro pole, a stoplight, and then slammed into a home.
Just woke up, heard a bang, came out, couldn't get out the front door, and went out the back, and somebody had hit the house.
Bill Van Beers and his brother were home when the SUV hit his house. 911 was called, then police and EMS arrived to find a man outside the vehicle. He was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
The lone driver of that vehicle has since been charged with impaired operation of motor vehicle by drug, as well as take motor vehicle without consent. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's been stolen. It's likely been taken without the owner's consent. Usually that's a case where it could turn into a civil matter.
Police closed a section of Adelaide between South Street and Hamilton Road while hydro crews worked. London Hydro initially asked the 6 homes closest to the crash to shelter in place while they assessed whether the wires were live.
Yeah, he had to be doing 140 kilometers an hour because he took out the hydro pole and went an extra 125 feet and hit the house. So, yeah, he was definitely moving, but he was up and walking around when we came out, so they took him to the hospital.
Van Beers spent the morning calling restoration companies and insurance.
I'm kind of frustrated because we've been fixing it up, and we had just fixed the porch up last summer, and now it's got to be replaced, so just more frustrating than anything.
No one was seriously injured. Brent Lale, CTV News.
One person has died following a crash in East London Sunday. Around 7 o'clock last night, emergency crews responded to Veterans Memorial Parkway and Gore Road for a 2-vehicle crash. Police say a male passenger suffered life-threatening injuries but died in the hospital. 3 people were transported with minor injuries. There is no word on possible charges. The trial of a 20-year-old London man charged in the death of an acquaintance resumed today. The jury watched a recorded interview the accused had with police investigators in the days following the stabbing. During the interview, the accused Trayton Hoffman tells police that he had been drinking alcohol with the victim, 16-year-old Malik McDonald Mills, near King Edward Avenue in East London in August of 2023. When asked how the teenager got stabbed, Hoffman says he doesn't know because he was maced at the time. The court has heard that McDonald Mills died from a stab wound to his artery. Charged with 1 count of manslaughter, Hoffman has pled not guilty. 2 others charged under the Young Offenders Act also face upcoming trials in connection with the death. Meanwhile, the manslaughter case looking into the death of a 15-month-old has now been adjourned for over 2 months. The trial of 46-year-old Megan Van Hoof was originally slated to last 4 weeks, but after a number of delays and legal arguments, another 5 weeks have been allocated for the case. Van Hoof has pled not guilty to a single charge of manslaughter in connection with the death of Nathaniel McClellan, who died in October of 2015 from a head injury. At the time, the accused had been babysitting the child at her home daycare in Strathroy. The trial will start hearing evidence again on December 15th, with time also slotted for January and February. As Canada works towards designing nation-building projects to counter U.S. tariffs, officials in Goderich are trying to push a multi-million-dollar port expansion. They believe this will help all of southwestern Ontario. Scott Miller reports.
Tourists are soaking in the last bits of summer along Goderich's beautiful waterfront, but it's what's on the other side of Goderich's harbour that's brought a room full of experts to the shoreline town.
The industry on the other side, actually, we have 2,500 jobs altogether with all the industry, which people don't know, high-paying jobs, and we want to obviously expand on our port if we can.
Goderich's port sees about 200 ships each year, shipping salt, grain, and wheat around the world and receiving shipments of gravel and aggregates. Following a 2018 expansion that saw 4 acres filled in to create new docks and portland, there's an appetite to see an additional 11 acres of Lake Huron filled in with rock and stone to create even more docks and land to expand Goderich's port even further. The price tag? $50 million.
I am on weekly calls with different funding groups in regards to understand which bucket of money then that can come from, both from a provincial perspective and a federal perspective. To me, as the president of the Port of Goderich, it doesn't matter. We just need the money. We are ready to go.
Port experts from around the Great Lakes recently stopped in Goderich to talk about that proposed expansion at the Huron Chamber of Commerce's Economic and Marine Forum. Herkman says every ship that comes through Goderich's port, or any port for that matter, effectively takes 600 trucks off the already clogged roadways.
There's a chance to take trucks off the road by using the water more efficiently. That's good for our environment. And so I think it really is a win-win-win if we can make projects like this happen.
As both the federal and provincial governments battle U.S. tariffs and talk about funding nation-building projects, proponents of Goderich's port expansion are trying to push their project to the front of the line for consideration.
If the time isn't right now, I don't know when it will be.
Herkman says in the meantime, the Goderich Port Management Corporation will spend $3.5 million to build a 50,000 square foot bulk storage building while they await federal and provincial cash to build what they really want to see, a new 11 acres of port land they hope could be ready to receive new cargo by 2028. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
London taxpayers are rolling in the green. Well, not quite, but City Council will soon debate what to do with the projected operating budget surplus amounting to millions of dollars. CTV's Brian Bicknell has more.
It's a little bit like found money. City Council's Infrastructure and Corporate Services Committee has endorsed a projected surplus of $23.6 million in this year's operating budget, plus another $6.6 million of surpluses from the water and wastewater budgets.
Our staff are using city funds efficiently and finding savings when possible. We're also seeing that when we're able to secure additional funding from other levels of government.
So where do these newfound millions come from? A staff report cites an extra $10.6 million in social and community support services, things like Ontario Works payments and childcare funding. Nearly $5 million from garbage and recycling, primarily landfill tipping fees. $3.4 million from corporate services and more than $4 million from other service areas. If the surplus remains, staff recommends allocating $10.6 million for the operating budget contingency reserve. The mayor says it's money that could be used to pay down debt, support homelessness initiatives, and fund infrastructure, specifically new municipal heating systems.
That's really important because we have 3 significant draws potentially coming from that. 1, to deal with the N-Wave steam issue, 2, to deal with our winter response to homelessness, and 3, to give council the option to fund a micromodular site somewhere in the city. If we do all of those things, we need to replenish that reserve fund. The second piece is there will be more debt paid down, our infrastructure gap will be lowered, and our unfunded liabilities, more of them will be met with a portion of the surplus.
Once again, this is only the halfway point, and the numbers are subject to change, but today's recommendation going to the full City Council next week. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Firefighters rescued a dog from a rural house fire on Nairn Road in North Middlesex this morning. Fire investigators are looking for cause and origin after crews encountered heavy smoke when they responded to this home around 9 a.m. today. The man renting the place arrived to alert firefighters his dog was inside. They were able to put out the blaze and rescue the animal.
We made entry to make sure that there were no occupants inside. We did locate a dog. The dog was removed from the building and was given oxygen and was transported by the owner to the vet clinic. And we're told that the dog's going to stay with the vet tonight. We'll go in and make sure that there are no hot spots left and make sure that it's safe to turn it back over to the owner.
A 16-year-old has been charged with assault with a weapon following a hold and secure at a high school in Wingham this morning. F.E. Medill Secondary locked its doors this morning after one student threatened another before classes started. Police arrived shortly between 9 to search for the student who made the threats. A suspect was taken into custody by 10 this morning, and the hold and secure was lifted. The warden of Oxford County believes municipal councils should take partial control of education in Ontario. Tonight, he's explaining his plan in more detail. Here's Sean Irvin.
Everyone agrees it is all about the kids when it comes to education, but how it should be administered is a contentious debate in Ontario. Since the embattled Thames Valley District School Board was rendered powerless by the province due to financial leadership and uncertainty, other school boards have faced a similar fate. While the warden of Oxford County remains supportive of the province stepping in to right the ship, he wants a future balance between Queen's Park and local communities.
I think we have to be careful and not sort of polarize this conversation between two extremes and say, is there a way we can capture some local decision making with local input?
Ryan has pitched a solution to several mayors across the province. It's a simple approach. Let municipalities take over.
I think local councils could very easily look after the school buildings, the properties, the facilities, the recreation facilities. I think likewise with transportation, municipalities offer all kinds of transportation services. I think the catchment areas, the attendance zones for those schools, we do all kinds of land use planning. We're the main people who do land use planning in Ontario.
Under Ryan's plan, the province would retain control of curriculum and teachers' contracts. It is a bold idea met with partial acclaim by education consultant Debbie Kasman.
I would fully support planning of building new schools, where the schools should be located, etc. I think that is a fabulous idea.
But Kasman's support ends at the selection sites for new schools. She says parents will lose if municipalities have full control of school buildings, transportation, and catchment areas. Instead, she believes that parental advisory committees and school councils should be given a broader voice.
I think it's better if the Minister of Education build on those two already existing structure.
But Ryan counters with a simple, why not?
We can do this. We deliver other services that people depend on every single day. We can deliver, schools and transportation as well.
In Oxford County, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A month ahead of Remembrance Day, the city of St. Thomas has installed a new crosswalk in honor of veterans. The new memorial crosswalk is at Talbot and Moore Streets, just steps away from the Veterans Memorial Garden and Cenotaph. The city describes it as a bold and lasting tribute to the courage and sacrifice of our veterans. The local Legion is thanking everyone involved and believes it will put the garden on the map.
It just reminds me of all those who sacrificed their lives and those who have, never been the same when they have come back after a war. It's important to remember them, and this will be a remembrance every time someone comes along here.
A celebration of life was held today for a London music icon. Friends and family gathered at the Grand Theatre to pay their respects to the loved ones of Peter Brennan. The founder of rock and orchestra group Jeans and Classics passed away at age 73 last week. His bandmates brought in some people from Peter's early days, along with current members of the music and arts community. Even though he's gone, his group will live on.
Peter was a very quiet leader. Sometimes you would never know. He'd be on stage that he was the boss. And so, you know, he's trusted a lot of us over 30 years to keep things rolling through that whole tenure. And I think that's what's going to keep it going now. Like he's got a good handful of his veterans from the early days and a lot of new singers and new players that have come in the last decade. So I think it's going to keep going and keep going strong.
Coming up, how a Saskatchewan man who suffered a brain injury is using 3D printing to help others.
5K a day is back on 97.5 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Canada's main stock index finished higher as energy and mining stocks had a strong day. In Toronto, the TSX gained 60 points, and in New York, the Dow lost 63, but the Nasdaq added 161. The Canadian dollar lost just 1/100th of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained more than $67 an ounce, and oil is up 81 cents a barrel. Prime Minister Mark Carney has landed in Washington while he is there to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday, hoping to find relief for Canada's steel and aluminum sectors. The trip is Carney's second to Washington since his election in April. Carney has faced some pressure to get a deal done, though recent polling suggests that Canadians understand that dealing with Trump can be complex. Despite Liberal optimism that tariff relief is possible, political observers and industry stakeholders are skeptical that a trade deal is coming. The Aluminum Association of Canada says it doesn't expect an agreement to come from the meeting, but that a resolution before heading into a review of the Canada-US-Mexico agreement is critical. Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on his threat to pull Crown Royal from the LCBO shelves. He's also promising to remove a whole lot more.
All the bigwigs at Diageo, I swear to God, those bottles of Crown Royal are coming off the LCBO shelves when the last person walks out through that door.
Earlier this year, Ford dumped a bottle of Crown Royal and encouraged others to do the same. Ford says that the province sells over $765 million of Diageo product. 35 brands could be removed from the shelves, including Guinness, Smirnoff, Bailey's, and Captain Morgan. John Dagnolo, president of the union representing workers, says Ford has tried to communicate with the company. Dagnolo wants Ford to go all in, remove the products from the LCBO now to prompt a quicker response from the company.
The bottom line is the dollar, so we got to hurt them when it comes to taking it off the shelf, and they'll lose those dollars.
Canada's federal fisheries minister says Marineland's request for emergency funding from Ottawa in a letter that warned 30 beluga whales at the park will otherwise be euthanized is inappropriate. Marineland made the request Friday with a deadline of Tuesday after Joanne Thompson denied the Niagara Falls, Ontario attraction permits to move Canada's last captive whales to an aquarium in China. In the letter to Thompson, Marineland wrote that euthanasia would be a direct consequence of her decision to deny the permits. Marineland says it is running out of money to feed and care for the whales and needs an immediate injection of cash. Thompson says Marineland is accountable for the care of its remaining belugas and that Ontario has a role to play in ensuring the welfare of animals across the province.
A cold front on the move brings scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight, and also a much cooler air mass. Thanks, Kevin, for this photo of Cali. If you are heading out for a walk tomorrow, you'll need an umbrella, and you're going to have to clean those paws off when you come inside. Potential for a few thunderstorms in the morning, but a mild start to the day. We'll see a drop in temperature by Tuesday afternoon. Your local weather is coming up right after this.
Julie Atchison joins me on the desk now. Julie, we were both swimming this weekend. It was gorgeous, but is that coming to an end soon?
Yeah, the cold front's coming in slowly overnight, so we will have some showers and thunderstorms, and it's the leading edge, Lauren, of some much cooler air. So temperatures are about to drop off as we head into tomorrow afternoon. A bit of a reality check after some record-breaking temperatures over the weekend. I believe on Sunday, over 30 records were broken in southern Ontario, even northern Ontario as well, added to that list. The Maritimes are soaking up the warmth as well, but coming to an abrupt end as we head into tomorrow. 28 degrees are high today, the record 30 set back in 1946. It'll stay mild overnight, Lauren. Now what we're looking at is normal daytime highs or our overnight lows. So we hold on to this warm southerly flow through the overnight, but the moisture moving in and rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected to develop. The cold front will slowly edge its way in. It's taking its time pushing through the Great Lakes. Not until tomorrow afternoon will the wind shift to the northwest. Once the wind shifts in the northwest, that ushers in the much cooler air and temperatures are set to drop. So we'll reach our high early in the day. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, as I mentioned. It looks like a fairly intense line moving through Huron and Perth County between about 2 and 4 a.m. And then the chance for showers lingering through the morning, some thunderstorms through Haldimand, Norfolk mid-morning, and then another round coming through by the afternoon. Now, if we get under one of these heavier storms, we will see a lot of rainfall in a short period of time. Generally, rainfall amounts will be under 15 millimeters through London, Sarnia close to 10. Chatham-Kent could see close to 20 millimeters of rain. We need it. It's been extremely dry. Mild to start the day, showers and thunderstorms possible. 19 degrees, the forecast high at noon, and then falling temperatures. About 4 o'clock, we're down to 14 degrees, and it'll get cooler from there. Heading into Wednesday, we're back to full sunshine, but the high 16 degrees. So that's close to where we should be for this time of year. Now, the interesting thing about this forecast is we're not setting up for an unsettled pattern. We'll get right back into high pressure with the passage of this cold front, and behind it, high pressure builds. That will lead to, once again, days of sunshine. This is some perfect fall weather. So we're going to go from extreme heat like summer into some gorgeous fall conditions. Friday, sunshine and 18, a mix of sun and clouds Saturday, Sunday, and holiday Monday, 18 to 19 degrees. And for Turkey Day, for some, depending on if it's Sunday or Monday, you could have your plans perhaps outdoors and have a picnic with daytime highs in the upper teens, approaching 20 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms Tuesday right across the board. And then as we head into your Wednesday, we're back to full sunshine, and we're setting up for an absolutely gorgeous spell of weather in terms of getting outside and enjoying some fall fun. This is the weather many people wait for and have been hoping for. They're done with the heat of the summer-like season. Of course, getting into some gorgeous conditions. Holiday weekend is setting up to be a major win with daytime highs from 17 to 19 degrees and comfortable cool overnight lows from 6 to 7. Potential for some patchy frost Thursday into Friday morning, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Back to you.
Thanks, Julie. A London mother and nurse practitioner is now adding TV chef to her impressive resume. Rita Ismail now with more on a local home cook who is competing on season 8 of MasterChef Canada.
A high-stakes kitchen, celebrity judges, and 15 determined home cooks. That's the setup for MasterChef Canada's season premiere. And among them, Londoner Ashley Treadway.
Was floored. I was shocked. I was super excited. I was really scared and nervous at the same time.
Treadway is a nurse practitioner who says she first learned to cook out of necessity.
My mother was a terrible, terrible cook when I was a kid. It was shake and bake and sidekicks, and she knows that she's going to kill me when this is aired. But it was so disgusting. I started cooking as soon as I could reach this stove. I think I was 10 years old when I started cooking.
Now her go-to dish is anything but basic.
Today I've made a squid ink fettuccine with pan-seared scallops. MasterChef Canada kitchen is surreal. It is really nerve-wracking. You're with a whole bunch of people that you just met, but easily become a family really quickly. So it's my little MasterChef family is what I call them.
In the first episode, contestants face the Black Apron Battle, a pressure test where only 12 earn the coveted white apron and a chance to stay in the competition. For those who stumble, a second chance signature dish could save their spot.
Very proud. She worked so hard to get it. She worked so hard with all the jobs that she does, and to make time, first of all, to cook for a family the way she does, but then to take her passion onto a TV show has been pretty amazing to watch the journey.
Ashley, we'd like to taste your dish next.
And while Treadway hopes to someday publish a cookbook for busy people like herself, for now she's just soaking up the experience.
I think my favorite part of being a part of the MasterChef Canada show was just that I was chosen. Like, I was good enough that the judges and the production team saw it in me that I could compete in that environment. So that's a huge honor.
From her home kitchen and now to national television, Treadway is proving that passion, hard work, and a little heat in the kitchen can go a long way. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Finally tonight, a Saskatchewan man who suffered a brain injury is getting into the world of 3D printing, hoping that his creations can help others. As Carla Shinkaruk explains, he's working to reinvent himself with a meaningful project that could help others with adaptive technology.
But you can build a variety of devices. The only thing that's restricting you is your imagination.
Nicholas Vogan spends a lot of time here in his home office. He makes products on his 3D printer, assistive devices to help people with disabilities.
And a device that would fit in that box, so I can create those wide range of assistive devices and like little gizmos and gadgets.
He was a computer science student at the U of S, but a car crash in 2020 left him with a brain injury and limited use on his right side. He didn't let that keep him down. This is one of the devices he makes. It helps people focus on their reading.
It allows you to track down word by word and keep your place.
This is another one. It's currently being completed in his 3D printer. It helps people hold playing cards.
It makes them very visible and easy relatively to organize. I am looking for individuals that have needs for assistive devices, and I want to build them for them, but it's hard to connect with the individuals that have that need.
He's invested some of his own money, and he also got a grant for part of the cost of his printer from the group Makers Making Change, which assists people with disabilities.
It's all about connecting volunteer makers to people with disabilities who need low-cost assistive tech.
Makers Making Change has photos on their website of assistive devices that can be made by people like Vogan.
Things that could be 3D printed to help somebody open a bottle of water, joysticks for adaptive gaming, or computer mouses that you use with your mouse.
Vogan is also developing an adaptive keyboard, which could be custom to any gaming device.
I love soldering, and also I can use my software expertise.
The products are relatively inexpensive and locally made at his Martinsville home. For Vogan, this isn't about making money, but more about making his life purposeful. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Martinsville.
That's it for us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.